This video is for the 1ZZ CNC intake manifold. As you see here, it has a really sick design. Very nice. Very beautiful. So later on, I'll hopefully be powder coating that about the same color. But for this is the 1ZZ intake. That's from CNC. They're in Malaysia. Very good company, good quality. So get to the basics. This is a very strenuous install. It takes some modification to the dipstick. As you can see, it's a little bit pressed here, but to the dipstick you got to do a little bending. Same with this, where it normally holds up the cable. That is actually, I decided to put it there just so it can hold it. And then from what I have found for the throttle body cable, if you're still running a stock one, or if you have a shorter one, that'd be better. But if you're running the stock one, for this, like tilting it at this angle and inserting it here is probably your best bet. There's not many areas that you can use, but I probably, once I close the hood, if this is not fitting right, I'm probably gonna take my saw to it and then just cut through it, just so I can keep it flush. I did have to cut into the hood of the car just a bit, just so I can get this stuff to fit. But as I said, getting further into it, so for the customization, when you're installing everything, I recommend, there's a bolt down here for it. It's right in here, as you see. I recommend, if you're going to do this setup, the rest of the bolts are fine. As you can see, they're in there. The rest of the bolts are fine. That one, I recommend if you have something where it is a bolt that goes into the exhaust manifold or the two top intake manifolds. If you have an additional bolt like that, put that there and then run a nut all over it just to secure it. But everything else fits fine. It does sit a little bit higher, so like I said, you might have to do a little trimming. I know from here, this is the plumbing, so this is to the PVC pipe itself, PVC valve, I think it is. And then this right here is running to my map sensor. I am running the EMS4, so I have to have that. If not, the other tunes you don't have to run like this. You do have to run something similar that connects to this here, but if not, this is the reason why you see this additional here, and it's connected to this map sensor. Normally it would be connected to this here. For right now, I close these off because I wanted to run it and see how it is. So I close these two off. And I will be going back to AutoZone to actually purchase some plugs to put them on and secure them. Additionally, like I said, is putting this here. I found like this is the best. I've tried a few configurations and this is actually the best one. So it keeps your same kind of throttle control. And then you can also kind of bend it back if you really want to, just so you can make it a little bit tighter, but I'm just leaving as is. For this item here, this area here, for your coolant feed line, you do have to run a longer hose, and that fits to the bottom a little bit further down. I don't know if you guys can see it down there. When I push on it, it runs to there. I am going to be cutting that just so it's a little bit snugger And the same with this, I will be trimming this a little bit after I figure out if I can keep it tucked in there where it won't damage anything or not. So I will be looking into that. But for this, there's 2 bolts. All I did is take the bolts out, drop the top bolt all the way down to the second bolt, and then just left it as that, and it fits really good. It's not a problem. As long as you tighten it, you'll be perfect. And for the rest of everything else, it's pretty easy. It does take some time. Also, the bolts for this right here for the throttle body, I found some at AutoZone. No, I am sorry, at Lowe's or Home Depot. So it's going to be this one. It's going to be the Hex, and this is the M6-1 times 65. I went with 65 because I have a throttle body spacer, so extra room. But if you're not running a throttle body spacer, then you can go with a smaller size. So I think by that, just looking at that, that probably would be somewhere near a good 40. So if you were to get a M6-1 times 45 or 40, you should be good. But yeah, other than that, this is the setup. And as you see, there's mostly everything else from my car stayed the same. I am running an EMS 4, so if you see this, don't worry about what this is. This is a tune system, so that's all that is. My cold air, I did have to purchase another duct to where it's a little bit more flexible and a little different. So yeah, with that being said, and another thing I wanted to add, as I said, is that bracket up there. Just make sure when you're installing, you're gonna have to try to move some stuff around just so you can have some good fitment. Cut some hoses. Same thing, like I said, with these hoses down here. You're gonna have to move some stuff around. This is just a vacuum line. This is PVC line. I'm sorry, PCV line, I think it is. And then the map sensor, like I said.